Hello and welcome to today's edition of dRyVwAy mEhCaNiK. We're going to be doing some work on this 2002 Toyota Celica GT-S. GT-S, it's a 6-speed nice car using POR-15 to do some floor pan repair. And I'm going to take you through this and see how well this works, and hopefully we can do some nice work here. One of the things I want to do first of all is make sure I'm not wasting my time, so I'm going to just make sure that this metal is actually viable. So I'm just going to give it a good tap around. And it looks solid. Doesn't look like I've got any issues with it being like Melba toast and going to bust right through. So that's a good sign. Floor pans are fairly thick on most cases, but you never know if they are too rusted out and weakened. I mean, obviously you can put your foot right through it. You don't want to take a hammered rail off on this to test it. Just check to see how good it is. I mean, I've already, vacuumed and cleaned this up a bit, but I'm going to take just an old barbecue brush and I'm going to just give it a bit of a scrubbing so I can just get any other crap off of here. Supposedly POR-15 actually works better with a good rusty surface, so that's the whole point of this, is making sure that we prep this and do the job correctly. Now, one of the things that I've noticed about this is that there's rust in this area and rust in this area. Well, is there rust underneath? So using the barbecue brush, I was able to peel it up and separate it, and of course, yeah, there's going to be rust underneath. So that's a good thing to do, to check to see how far does your rust actually extend. The thing is, because this is brittle material, it's going to bust, and so it'll fragment like it's done up here. But what I did is I just took some packing tape and I just put the pieces together so I know how this puzzle goes back together afterwards. I'm gonna give these bottom pieces a really good cleaning, and with the POR, with its proper preparation and whatever, once I put it all back together, I'll glue these things down somehow just so that they're in place to add a bit of sound deadening. I could get new material, I don't know where to find that stuff, and rubber coating, who knows, but I just want to make sure that I'm doing all I can to protect the floor pan from getting any worse. So there's a little tip and trick for you if you run into that. In the preparation of this, it's very important to do a thorough job. You're in here for a bit of time, so make sure if you're going to do this, do it right. Take the time to prep the surface. If this isn't gonna fit in down in the crevices, then go and get yourself a smaller wire brush so you can get right down into the corners. Move material around so that you can get in and do a proper job to get in along the sides. You want to make sure you get everything prepped as best as you can. Again, with the POR product, they don't want you getting down to bare metal, so this is the type of surface that they're wanting. Okay, then I'm going to use their cleaner and degreaser, and then we'll move along in the steps. The product I'm using is their Super Starter Kit. It's just a small test kit, basically. It has your cleaner, it has your metal prep, and the POR-15. Now this is supposed to give about 6 square feet of coverage, which because POR-15 is not cheap. This stuff is super expensive. So I'm using this amount to just do this floor pan area, And I noticed around here I've got some rust too, so you know, again, may as well get in here and do that work up as well. And I'm gonna check over here on the passenger side. I've got a little bit of rust too, so I don't know how far this kit's gonna cover. I'll do my best to maximize the use. They want 2 coats of POR product on here, so hopefully I've got enough. But of course, my priority is to get this done, and whatever else comes along, I'll get that done. The other thing you want to do is remove any of the floor pan grommets that are in the vehicle, because you know what? Give them a good cleaning, because putting in rusty material rubber grommets back into your repair is just not smart. Yeah, if you can replace them, if they're really destroyed, rubber's broken down, then yeah, replace them. But in my case, I was able to give them a good scrubbing, cleaning, and so they're serviceable and reusable. Okay, so the first step in the POR-15 product, they want us to degrease and clean. So the nice thing is this is a small bottle, and all I did was I just went and got myself a sprayer, and then I was able to spray the surface down without using a lot of product. But I have the required amount of product on here to do the job. So that's going to help make this kit last a little longer. And the instructions say 10 to 15 minutes to keep this wet. So you know, just a little bit of spraying, and then to rinse out with clean water. So that's what we're doing next. Okay, stage 1 of the cleaner degreaser has been applied, and after 15 minutes they want you to rinse it. Well, in a vehicle, how do you rinse it? Like this, I'm not going to take a hose in and soak the interior, so I just used a spray bottle full of water, and I just sprayed down the area that I'm working on, and then I just used a microfiber cloth to just wipe things down. And did that about 3-4 times, make sure I got the product cleared off. And once this dries, which it's getting pretty close, then I'll be able to go to step 2, which will be the metal prep product. So it turns out the spray bottle I have that I'm using for water actually will spin onto my metal prep can formula, so that's perfect. Allow me to get in here and spray the areas down that we're treating. So this is the metal prep on here. It needs to sit on the metal for 10 to 15 minutes. So by being able to spray this there and just spray it on here, it gets a good coating on here, and yeah, it gets a good coating, and I don't have to overuse the product, and I have enough product here that'll probably last me for a whole bunch of treatments if I had enough POR-15. But anyways, 10 to 15 minutes later, we'll see where we're at. What I've done now is I've rinsed this down, sprayed it down with some clean water, and wiped it down, so it's just a matter of it to dry now. So once this dries, then it's on to the actual POR-15 step of things. So I've been able to actually clean up that area as well on the passenger side, and as well we are getting this area on the driver's side done. So getting really close to applying the POR-15 product. Yeah, this is looking good. Okay, so this is dry. Once as dry as it gets, I'm going to put the POR-15 product on and go from there. So this is the POR-15 product. Rust preventative. Pop the cap. I mean, really, it just looks like black paint. So, special chemicals in there, I guess, obviously. So, let's get this applied. Okay, I've just applied the first thin coat like they suggest, and covered all the rust areas that have been prepped. And it does remind me just of paint, but it does have a different odor. There's definitely a different chemical composition to it. I can see it's, you know, got a little bit of a, you know, grayish coming through. I don't know what that is, if that's chemically reacting with the metal prep. But yeah, certainly that's one coat. Even had enough that I could go over to the passenger side and do up the area like I was wanting. So applying a second coat, I will definitely have enough to do this job. So I'm going to apply a second coat here right away in a moment. They say dry time is 2 to 5 hours. Well, I'm not going to wait 2 to 5 hours for a second coat. I don't think that's what they're inferring. Just to put, they want you to put 2 coats on and then let it dry 2 to 5 hours, and that would be completed. So, okay, I've done the second coat, and I've got about maybe a quarter to a third of a can left. It's not a lot to use, but I mean, certainly if you got 6 square feet to use to do a repair, that'll work. So this is a second coat put on, and you know, it feels thicker, a little heavier. It certainly will do very well. I mean, anywhere there's a grommet for a drain, it's going to accumulate a little more. So yeah, you know, it's a fairly thick. They say 1 to 2 millimeters. I don't know how you're going to measure that. Good luck with that. But you know, don't be skimpy on it, but don't glob the hell out of it. You want a good amount of coverage and good even coat, and even enough that I was able to, you know, do a good coat over here as well. One thing I also did was I also made sure the bolt hole areas for where my seats go in, I did those up, because they do have a little bit of rust. Not bad, but you know, even if you don't do a surface prep on it and just hit it with POR-15, it would probably be better than nothing. But obviously my purpose of using this product was to repair the floor pan area here on the driver's side. I think it's done well. I just have to let it set up for about 2 to 5 hours, and I'll come back and when it's dry. And okay, this is the next morning, and this is the POR-15 product. It feels very durable. A very hard coating. Like a candy apple coating kind of feel to it. So the POR-15 product's been around for a bit, and it's widely promoted, so it's used by auto restorers, classic car restorers. So, pretty confident this will work. To add a level of protection that it's better than not having any at all. I mean, that being rusty all by itself before wouldn't have lasted who knows how long, but POR will definitely add that barrier. Okay, now that the POR-15 product's done and set up, I'm going to re-glue all my insulation panels and noise panels back down. I'm going to use some industrial adhesive, construction adhesive, and just going to maybe put some on the back, plop it on the vehicle, and that's it. One of the things in the instructions for POR-15 says to top coat this product. This is the actual POR-15 product on here, and you know, the only reason they want you top coating it is to protect it from UV. So if you're using it externally on a car body, you'd want to do priming and painting anyways, but because this is actually going to go underneath the carpet of the vehicle, it doesn't need to have that top coat. Even in the instructions, there's one of the FAQs, you know, it's asked, you know, what happens if I don't top coat it? It just changes color because of the UV. Well, this will be underneath a carpet, so I'm not going to waste any third-party product or time painting over this POR stuff. It's in place.